On August 20th, 2009, the largest single-day tornado outbreak in Ontario history and the largest in Canadian history took place across southwestern Ontario, through central Ontario, and also the Greater Toronto area. Hi, I'm Chris May, writer, producer, and host of This Day in Weather History, now in its second year from the Weather Network in Canada. At one point, over 10 million people in southern Ontario were placed under either tornado watches and or warnings as these powerful and dangerous storms rolled through. This day in weather history. Okay, so this one I remember rather vividly because I covered it here at the Weather Network in Canada. Oh, did I mention that our television studios are in a town only a few short minutes west of the city? Yeah, so that puts us in that GTA bullseye where warnings were issued that day. The number of tornadoes associated with this event surpasses that of August 2nd, 2006, which saw 18 documented tornadoes, but that year they were spread across two provinces, remember, Ontario and Quebec. But during this afternoon, a series of supercell thunderstorms began to develop over southeast Michigan and on its way north and east into Canada. As this cell moved, it continued to develop and started to increase in its numbers while pushing into southwestern Ontario. The first tornado touched down about 14 kilometers or 8.7 miles southwest of the town, but that's just where it started. You've heard the term, hit the ground running. This quickly began growing in size and intensity as it closed in on the town, then reached F2 status as it unloaded severe damage to homes and to an industrial park in the southwest part of the town. Having chewed through solid structure, this tornado weakened but was not down for the count. It continued through more rural areas before striking the town of Markdale, where F0 damage occurred to homes and trees. Before it had fizzled, this tornado had quite literally carved out a path that was 36 kilometers or 22 miles long, making it the longest tracked tornado in Ontario since Williamsford and Arthur tornadoes of 1996. Meanwhile, near the town of Thornbury, along the shores of Georgian Bay, the next significant tornado touched down. This one passed through Clarksburg and Blue Mountain before moving out over the water. It was later rated as an F2. As this cell moved out over Georgian Bay, more cells formed and intensified ahead of and within the main line as it continued on its way eastward. This time, a supercell complex of storms produced a family of 4 tornadoes as it tracked to the northeast for a mind-bending 125 kilometers or 78 miles. And this is where things went nuts. The first touchdown west of Barrie, staying on the ground for 12.5 kilometers, almost 8 miles. The second tornado touched down near Moonstone. A third cut a 1 kilometer or 3,300 foot wide, 10 kilometer long path through the town of Gravenhurst, both of them rated F0. The final tornado of this cluster, an F1, touched down at Real Lake. But just to its north, an F0 tornado affected Dollars Lake to the northeast of Britt, while another F1 tornado hit at Armstein near North Bay. While this was going on, and to the east, F0 damage occurred from a tornado at Redstone Lake near Haliburton, where a woman was injured by flying glass and the roofs of cottages were damaged. While actually in Haliburton County, another tornado inflicted F1 damage to trees at Haliburton Forest. Oh, and that was just the north. You thought I was done. To the south now, the most prolific tornadoes to affect the Greater Toronto Area in recent memory tore through sections to the north and east of the big city. One tornado swept across the Royal Riding Academy in a rural area east of Newmarket, while west of Newmarket saw the most damaging tornadoes in an Ontario urban area since that Barrie tornado outbreak of 1985 I was telling you about a moment ago. And all this while Barrie itself had been in the swarm of that other cluster. This time it was originally thought to be a single tornado, but in fact, 2 separate F2 tornadoes struck the city of Vaughan. The first hit the Woodbridge neighborhood in the city's southwest, traveling for 3.5 kilometers. That's just over 2 miles. The second struck the Maple neighborhood in the city's northeast, causing a 2.5 kilometer long path of damage. Both of these tornadoes have been rated F2. After Vaughan, the storms moved into sections of central Ontario and eastern Ontario. There, an F0 struck near Orono, an F1 touched down in the Bancroft-Carlow-Mayo area, and a final confirmed F1 tornado struck at Rice Lake. there you have it. All 19 tornadoes in what still stands as the single greatest one-day tornado outbreak, not only for a province that is not named Saskatchewan or Alberta, but in any one day for all of Canada combined. And it happened August 20th, 2009, this day in weather history. Tomorrow is August 21st. And we are really jumping from major storm to major storm because tomorrow marks on this day in weather history when Goderich, Ontario watched as a waterspout crept up on shore only to blow out into a powerful and crippling F3 tornado. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow, this day in weather history, with me, your host, Chris May.